Romans 15 and 14. He said, "Now I myself am confident concerning you, my brethren, that you also are full of goodness, filled with all knowledge, able to admonish one another." Who did he say that to? Not a council of church officers or church workers. Just to the plain old, good old-fashioned saints at Rome. Just Christians. And what were they filled with? They were filled with goodness, their manner of life, and they were filled with knowledge. You see, they weren't just hearers, but they were doers. And what did that equip them to do? That made them able to admonish one another. You become somebody worth listening to when you live the life that's described in these recent scriptures we've just now read. You become someone that someone else will pay more attention to. Don't underestimate how much some other Christian might be interested in what you had to say. And don't underestimate how much it might help them. And don't underestimate someone's need for a boost or a word of encouragement. I'm going to ask you to do something this morning. I want you to think about the congregation here that you are a part of. And I want to ask you to just picture someone here that you think of as being really spiritually strong. Who are you thinking of? You think they need help? You think they needed anything this week? You have anybody like that in the church you think of as, boy, they've just always got it together and they never get down and they never get low? Now, I'm going to speak for that person for just a moment. It doesn't matter who you're thinking of right now. I'm going to speak for them. It doesn't matter how strong you think they are. There are days they feel weak and they need you. They don't just need that other person they regularly talk to. They need you. They need you to care. They need you to reach out. They need you to love them. And they need you to encourage them. The strongest person. I'll tell you, some of the people that I've seen in the years of my work that's been the most spiritually low are elders in the church. Fighting hard to lead the flock and trying to help. Those guys get down. And sometimes it's something as simple as a little child just saying something nice to them to try to boost their day. And those guys will tell you that sometimes their walk turns on simple things like that. Don't underestimate the value of you admonishing some fellow saint. We can edify each other with hospitality. We've talked about this some this week. 1 Peter 4 and 9, be hospitable to one another without grumbling. Well, there's two things there. Number one, be hospitable. That's a big hill for some people to climb. That idea of opening our hearts and our lives and our homes like we talked about with Lydia, that's tough for some people to do. I'll tell you what's tough for some people to do, and that's do it without belly aching about it. It's hard work. It can turn your life upside down. Do it. We need to be a together people. Listen, God's family is supposed to be the kind of family that's hard to leave. And it is our responsibility to work together, to love each other, and edify one another that in such a way that makes the church a family that's hard to leave, because some people will be tempted to leave the church, and some will get it done. But if they're going to do it, we need to make it as hard on them as possible by just being the kind of family you want to be a part of. Now, don't fold your arms and think about what that other guy or that other gal needs to do to make it that way. You think about you as a part of the body doing your share. Because somebody else is broken and needs fixing. I know that. But you and I are broken and we need fixing too. So let's focus on what we can do. In Acts 2 and 46, describing the early church at Jerusalem, he said, so continuing with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart. The breaking of bread here wasn't part of the Lord's Supper. It was part of them just eating their regular food for sustenance. What did they do? They just shared meals together. And they did so with simplicity or singleness of heart. That meant they were focused on one another as they shared their meals together and shared their lives together. There's just something about being in one another's homes. I can't explain it, but I want to tell you about it. Been traveling in this work for almost 40 years, not quite, about 38 or 39. Going different places, staying with brothers and sisters, being in people's homes. And I'll tell you, there's people, you can be with them and you can love them and you can enjoy time with them and you can do things together, but there's something about you getting in their home and them getting in your home that just changes it. And I couldn't more tell you than the man in the moon what it is, but it changes it. You go and you spend time in that person's home, and the next time you see them at church, the relationship is just different. It's better. You have them in your home and you get their feet under your table. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's got to be loving. It's not the bricks and the mortar and the 2x4s and the paint that make it nice. It's the love. Okay? Let's accept that. And you get them in your home and you cover them up with love. The next time you see them at services, it's just different. I wish I could tell you why or what. I just know it is. Okay? There's a reason the Lord pictures the church at Jerusalem as just being a together people. There's a reason the Lord teaches us to do that with one another in 1 Peter 4:9, because He knows better than we do what it will do for us.